Good morning, and cheers. Welcome to Coffee Convo Wednesday. My name is Cindy Simmons. I will be your host for today's Coffee Convo Wednesday, and as I say every week, I am your host every week, so there's that. Today is Coffee Convo Wednesday for the second day of May, 2018, episode 107, and I'd like to take this moment to give you a big fat cheers to whatever you are partaking in this lovely Wednesday morning, whether it's coffee, tea, whatever. I always say, I don't judge, whatever you want to drink this morning. Smoothie, ice water, Diet Coke, I don't know, whatever. So I give you a big fat cheers in my Loki coffee mug. It's my new coffee mug from one of my besties, Taylor. She sent it to me, which I thought was a perfect timing for said Loki coffee mug, because you guys know I love crazy fun coffee mugs. But because Avengers Infinity War came out in theaters last Friday and had the biggest opening weekend of all times, like surpassed the Star Wars movie, biggest opening weekend of all time. So good morning and cheers to you and happy Coffee Combo Wednesday. I ran out of creamer the other day and I only drink vanilla creamer. In my coffee, I had to go borrow some from my mom. Thank goodness my mom lives with us, aka right next door. So there's nothing worse than going to get your first cup of coffee and you're like, I have no creamer. Which I will secretly, or not so secretly, since I'm doing it live on the show, blame it on my husband because he has now decided to drink the same creamer as me. So someone forgot to tell the other that we were out of coffee creamer. Not mentioning any names. Eric. Just kidding, I love my husband. So many things to talk about this morning. I feel like it's been kind of one of those crazy weeks. It's the first day of May. All I've been singing up until yesterday was, it's gonna be May. And then I saw, I think it might be an old tweet that Justin Timberlake tweeted. I said, it's gonna be me, you idiots. Which might be the funniest thing ever. My Nashville best friend Shani sent that to me yesterday, and I died because I don't know if you guys do it, but every last week of April since NSYNC came out, maybe not that long, I don't know. I have been running around going, it's gonna be May, which is not even exactly how it sounds when NSYNC sang it's gonna be me. But nonetheless, yeah. So couple of random TV musings because I do enjoy watching a couple of shows on TV. I think it was like 2 weeks ago now, 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, Scandal ended. Not just Scandal ended end of season, Scandal is done forever and ever. And I feel like I'm still in mourning over that. That was the show my husband and I were watching and now it's gone. Series finale, not season finale, series finale. And I don't know, if you guys watched Scandal a couple weeks ago, I haven't wanted to talk about it because if you are watching that show and you haven't for some reason seen the last episode, I always fear spoiling it for someone. So if you have watched it, maybe comment below if you want to let me know what your thoughts were. I don't want to tell you mine because I don't want to ruin it for anyone who has not seen the last episode ever of Scandal. Speaking of having nothing to do with Scandal, the other day I was flipping through the channels. My kids were out playing or something. My husband was doing something in the garage. And there was a 227 marathon on, I think it was OWN. Isn't that the Oprah channel? I used to watch 227 all the time. Well, there's no place like home where when family's around you, you're never alone. Well, I used to love, and Sandra, oh, Sandra. That's a horrible Sandra impression, but if anyone else watched 227, can you let me know? Because I still love the show. And then my 5-year-old came in, she's like, what are you watching? I said, 227, honey, come sit with me and watch it. Though probably not appropriate for 5-year-old. Oh, Sandra. Ooh. I loved her. You guys were like, what is in her coffee this morning? Y'all, I should tell you, this is my third cup of coffee. So the show today might be a little extra spicy. All right, Coffee Convo Wednesday, let's get to it. 3 topics. We're going to be here for about 15, 20 minutes, depending on how long I do. Oh, Sandra. Morning line. It's almost like a little bit of I Love Lucy, because wasn't she like, oh, Ricky, oh, ooh. All right. I know you guys are like, what is even happening? We're going to talk about 3 topics today. Uplifting, positive, thought-provoking sometimes, maybe, I don't know, sometimes just really silly, but that's what we're doing this morning. So thank you for joining me. All right, topic number 1. This upped the hotness factor, the hotness level of my husband. Do you remember, if you watched last week's show, we were talking about how my little 12-year-old did a Little Mermaid show, and then one of my best friends, Mary Louise, had never seen Little Mermaid ever. So we were talking about those movies that everyone else had seen, but you had not. Well, for me, a newer one was The Greatest Showman. I had never seen it. I don't know why, because I love musicals. We just had never seen it. So we watched it over the weekend, and I loved it. Duh. My girls loved it. I have a 12 and a 5-year-old. Duh. They loved it. My husband, like, next level, loved it. We weren't even done with the movie like that. He goes, "We gotta download the soundtrack." And I'm like, who are you? Now, okay, my husband, you know, he likes to watch football and basketball and cooking shows and whatever. But musicals, he can take them or leave them. But Greatest Showman, he thought was one of the greatest movies he has ever seen. He's like, "I don't know how this hasn't won 1 million awards. This is the best movie ever. The music, the dancing, the message." And I agreed 1,000,000%. But he downloaded that soundtrack. Not even on my iTunes account, so like I can listen to it in the car, on his, so he can listen to it in the car. Then he's running around on his phone playing it nonstop since Saturday. And if I even, I don't know, walk in the other room and he's with my 5-year-old, oh my goodness, he and his daughter running around listening to "This is the greatest show." Oh my goodness, I kind of love it. And I don't know why, you guys, but it kind of made me think he was a little hotter than I already do. Because there's something about, oh, I love this movie and I love the music, and I'm not afraid to admit it. He loved that movie. And I loved that movie. Everything about that movie. Oh my goodness. So I don't know, is there something that, you know, in your relationship, your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, your significant other does, like they just do something and you're like, I think you're kind of hotter. That for me is it. Greatest Showman, and him being all about the Greatest Showman, especially running around dancing with our kids. Ay, muy caliente. Super hot in my book. So cheers to my husband for that little extra hotness level. And a bonus, it was a good movie, which means if he thought it was a good movie, and we all thought it was a good movie, we'll be watching it again. Yay for Greatest Showman. All right, number 2 on the list. So I always say that we try to keep it light and upbeat, but I wanted to ask you guys about how you feel about something, because I feel very strongly about it, and so I wanted to see, what say you? Which side are you on? I know in most states, I believe in most states, there is a leash law, meaning for your dogs, to keep them on a leash. I think, though, it's up to individual counties and cities to enforce said leash law. I believe is how it works. Okay, just a little history as to why I'm bringing this up. Many years ago, my dad was a mailman, and that was his profession for majority of his life until he got sick. He had a heart attack at a very young age and passed away 6 years ago, but had the heart attack 1,000,000 years ago. But he was a mailman, the kind that literally walked with a sack on his back. I can't say sleet or snow because he was a mailman in California where we grew up. But nonetheless, he had, you know, the bag on his shoulder and walked around to everyone's homes. So he knew everyone. And he was bit by a dog, which I know people are like, oh, okay, well, they're attracted to men in uniform. Aren't we all? But I digress. He had a conversation with one of the neighbors, and she's like, oh, my dog has never bit anyone. You have nothing to worry about. And he said, okay, here's your mail. And as soon as he walked away, the dog charged after him, not on a leash, in the house. So it's like kind of different. But bit my dad in the ankle. And I think over, I mean, he was a mailman. Let's just say at least 20 years, I think. He was bit twice. Then about 6 years ago, I want to say, my oldest daughter now, she was delivering or selling cookie dough, I think, for her school. She went over to a neighbor's house. Now, she was at their house, and they had an electronic fence, and the dogs were not out, but the dogs were let out, I guess, through the garage, and the neighbor did not see that my daughter was there, and 2 dogs attacked my daughter. And it, by far, was one of the scariest moments of my life. We could talk about that another time, because I want to just stay on track and keep to the point. Then recently, one of my best friends in Atlanta, she was trail running out in the wilderness, or whatever, in the woods where you trail run, and there are dogs all the time off leash. And I guess my question for you is, are you on board with that? Because I don't understand that. Like, I see in my head, if you go to a dog park, you can take your dog off the leash, roam free. Or you're in your backyard, roam free around the backyard. But I guess I don't understand what your thought process is. If you're in a public place, be it out in the woods or in a park or I don't know, wherever, even in your front yard that's not fenced in, why you wouldn't have your dog on a leash. And I know, I used to have a dog. I had a wiener dog for 13 and a half years until he passed away. So I guess my question is, why wouldn't you have your dog on a leash? Like, she was bit, got stitches, like it was bad. And since then, she's gone back to running the trails in this wooded area, and she still sees dogs without leashes. And I guess I just don't understand that. And I love dogs, like obsessively love dogs, but I would always keep my dog on a leash. I don't understand that thought process. So I wanted you guys to weigh in. Like, how do you feel about dogs and leashes? Because I love dogs and I would have them all around me all the time. But I would also keep them on the leash if I'm going to be anywhere in public where we might possibly run into people. So I just don't understand that. It's kind of like here in Florida where we live, there is no helmet law. And I don't get that at all. I mean, I understand. When I was in high school, I dated a boy on a motorcycle, and I get the allure, and it's so cool and it's so fun to have the wind in your hair. But we always wore helmets, and I think there is a law in California, a helmet law. But I just don't understand that. So, getting off topic. But what do you think about leash laws? Are you guys like, yes, for sure, or no, I want my dogs to run around free? I'm just saying, as someone who's had a child who's been attacked by dogs, and now one of my best friends got attacked by a dog a couple months ago, I'm not on board with that, you guys. I'm just not. So weigh in below and let me know. All right, last on Coffee Convo Wednesday, I saw this story in the news, and I love it so much. I had to talk to you guys about it. So there is a student at the University of Utah for a school project came up with a crying closet, a place where students could go during final exams and just let it out. Like, I think it's a 1-room closet. I think there might be stuffed animals and a timer. And I think they're only allowed in the closet for 10 minutes at a time. But it was kind of a project to say, hey, final exams can be really rough and challenging, and sometimes you just have to let it out. So I'm going to come up with a crying closet, and I don't know what the student got on their project for that, but I would have given them an A because I loved it. So it got me to thinking a couple of things, really. Crying closet, perfect idea. Let me give you some examples in my own life. I have gone to my own closet and cried for whatever reason. Maybe I was just having a bad day. I was sad about something. I was hiding from my kids. I have no problem admitting I've done that before. And they just drive you crazy, or you're just frustrated about something and you just need to let it out. Then I was thinking about like happy crying. And they should have that right near the dollar section at Target. So you get in, so you get your coffee and you got your little cart or buggy, whatever you call it. And you see all these great deals in the dollar section, and you're just like, this is the best dollar section Target ever. And you just need a couple of minutes to let it out. Another perfect example. Sometimes my car is my crying closet. because sometimes that's just where maybe I hear a song and I'm overwhelmed with the emotion. Or sometimes when I watch really sweet videos about military parent and kid reunions or sweet animal stories. Nothing gets me, both of those. Sweet doggy animal stories or military reunions. So I would need a crying closet for that. So do you have a place that you currently go to now that you would consider your crying closet? Or what do you think about crying closets? Because I sort of feel like that's a good idea. I just think we could all sometimes use a crying closet. I know I can. I have no problem admitting it. Like there'll be sometimes I might cry once a week, and then I won't cry for like a month. Sometimes it's once a day. But that's been very rare lately because I'm in a good place. But crying closet, I say kudos to you, University of Utah student. That is a great idea. So comment below and let me know where your crying closet is. Like I said, I've done it in my own closet. I've done it in my car. I'm sure I've cried in many more places than that. But those are the two I, off the top of my head, can think of. A crying closet, good idea, bad idea? And where is your crying closet? All right, that is Coffee Convo Wednesday for you today for the second day of May, May 2nd, 2018, episode 107. But before we get out of here, you know, a couple weeks ago, it was National Licorice Day. And if you remember, sometime last year, I was telling you about my favorite childhood licorice because my mom would smuggle red vines into the movie theater when we were kids. And we would bite off, that's me biting off each end. And she'd also smuggle in a can of Pepsi because that's what we grew up drinking in Los Angeles. And then we would drink the Pepsi with the red vines. So I love Red Vines licorice, and it's the only licorice I eat. So Red Vines knows this, and so they sent me a bunch of licorice for you to give away. So I have red vines, red and black mixed. Then I have Red Vines twistettes in the red. Then, did you know Red Vines makes organic licorice? So it's really like a licorice party for you is what I'm saying. So just comment Red Vines below and let me know the name of the city where you're watching Coffee Convo Wednesday. And I'm gonna hook you up with some Red Vines licorice because duh, I love licorice. And plus if that stays in my house, I will eat it. So there's that. And I am full of Red Vines licorice. Like I got the big tub and I've just been eating red licorice out of there like it's going out of crazy. So, okay. Comment Red Vines in the name of the city you're watching Coffee Convo Wednesday. We'll draw a winner before next week's Coffee Convo, and then you just come back to this post to see if you're the winner. I'll tag you if you are, and we'll just pick a random winner. So good luck to you. And thank you for hanging out with me on Coffee Convo Wednesday. Follow me on all the socials. I'm constantly on Instagram story on Instagram. You can link over to cindysimmons.com for all of the links there. Links to my YouTube page for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of that. So go to cindysimmons.com. Plus, too, I always say, if you send me a really fun, crazy, big, just funny mug, whatever, I will send you a t-shirt. I have a ginormous cabinet full of coffee mugs because why not? It's fun. So hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Spread kindness like Nutella. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning, and have a great Coffee Convo Wednesday. Cheers, you guys.